Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today we are going to be building a bridge house in Minecraft. As you may have guessed, this is a bridge and a house in one conjoined build, allowing you safe transport from one piece of land to another, whilst also holding up a house that has a bunch of different elements that are perfect for survival on the inside. There are plenty of chests for storage, an enchanting setup, a handful of furnaces in the wall, and of course a bed. Before we start building, let's go through our materials list. So everything you can see inside of this chest and my inventory are all of the blocks that we're going to be placing down today. Now I will scroll over all of these in a second in case some of you aren't sure what some of the items are, but a few of them do need some explaining. Starting off here with the stripped dark oak logs and dark oak fences. These are the only two variable quantities throughout this entire box, meaning you may need more or you may need less depending on how long your pillars on your bridge actually are going to be. So say you have a really deep river, you're probably going to need to grab a little bit extra than others may need to. I have rounded them up, so honestly you can probably just grab this and be good, but do bear in mind you may need more or you may need less. Next up, we have these stone bricks, full blocks, stairs, and then walls. We're actually going to be adding in some texture to the stone parts of this build using some cobblestone and andesite, but if you were to just build out of stone bricks, these are the number of each 3 blocks you would need. So say you wanted to grab the texture blocks to begin with, for the stone brick full blocks, maybe just grab 6 of each. So 6 andesite, 6 cobble, and 6 stone bricks. Hopefully that makes sense. Just divide them by 3 basically. Next up, we have 7 cornflowers here. Now, you're not going to need 7 cornflowers only. These simply represent the amount of flowers needed in the build. They're actually going to be going on top of the grass blocks here. So maybe grab some different types of flowers, not just 7 of the same kind. And lastly, you may be wondering why we have a piston, rail, and minecart down the bottom here. Well, that's actually because we're going to be making a chair in this house that you'll be able to sit on. And you're going to need a minecart, a rail, and a piston to do that. Now, as I said, I'm just going to quickly scroll over all of these in case some of you guys watching aren't sure what a couple of the items are. It's probably helpful to know that the space between the far left pillar and the far right pillar of the bridge is 27 blocks. Bear that in mind when you're picking a location to build this. I would say as long as your river or wherever you're building this has a gap of 20 to 30 blocks, you should be all good. It may mean you have to do a little bit of terraforming to shape the terrain around the bridge, but it shouldn't be anything too drastic. I'm going to be building my bridge in this spot, and if you'd rather just use this as well, then here is the world seed, and here are the coordinates. We're going to start off on one side of the river with our stripped dark oak logs and place 1 block here, then leave a gap of 5 and place another one here. So that is going to be the width of the bridge. 5 blocks, that's very important you get that right. But then we're going to go across to the other side and work on the length of the bridge. So the first gap is going to be a gap of 3, and on the 4th block you can place them down. Just make sure for now you're doing them all on the same level. And then we're going to leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then place them on the 6th block. And then we're going to leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and on the 8th block, place another 2 like that. So obviously, the depth will depend on how deep your river actually is. But then we're going to leave another gap of 5 and place 2 more here, and then another 3, and the final one over here. Very simply, we just want to go 5 across here and stretch over to the other side, leaving the same amount of spaces in between, so that you end up with something like this. But obviously we don't want them to be completely flat. We would like some height variation in our bridge. So on these first 2 here, we're going to bring both of them up by 2 more blocks, and on the next 2 we're going to bring these up by 3 blocks, and on the third 2 here we're going to actually bring these up by 8 blocks. Now, I know that may seem a little high, but that's actually because this is the start of the house. So basically, these 2 pillars here, same for these 2 over here, will be the pillars of the house itself. The other 4 are just for the bridge. So obviously, once you got this side done, you can copy it on over to here with the same amount of blocks. Next up, we're going to grab some dark oak slabs, and on the inside of this pillar right here, on the middle block, we're going to place in a slab just like that with a fence below it. And then what you can do is have another slab on top, 2 more here, 2 more here, just to make this diagonal pattern going from pillar to pillar. What we can then do is have 2 more slabs here, 1 on top, 2 more across, another on top, and then 1 more to connect up to this pillar. Now basically what we want to do next is next to all of these pillars, on the bottom of wherever the water stops, so on the seabed here, is have a brick wall. Now mine is fairly high up to the surface, as you can see, but yours may be a little bit lower. And virtually what we want to do on top of all of the brick walls is just bring it up to the dark oak slabs above, which is exactly why the number of fences vary, because yours will probably be a little bit different. And then we also want to do the same over on these 2 spots here, and if this does happen to be submerged in water, you also want to make this a brick wall as well, but mine is not, so I'm just going to leave it as a fence. And the final thing we need to do is place a dark oak trapdoor on top of these 2 pillars here. Mine look a little bit different, but that's just my custom resource pack. Now what you can do once you've got this done is copy it round to here, here, and finally here. Once you've got all of this built up, you can then come to the middle section here and grab some stripped dark oak logs, and in line with this top fence here, have a horizontal beam going across from one side to the other. We can then grab our dark oak stairs, and on the underside of this second block inwards, have an upside down one here and another one just below it diagonally. And then finally, a regular stair in the corner, leaving that tiny little square next to the pillars. We can then do the same over here, so 2 upside down stairs with a regular one in the corner, and then these 3 spots we can place some dark oak slabs. We can then very quickly copy this round to the other side as well. And then once you've got that done, we can keep with our dark oak slabs, and on this upside down stair, we just want to bring some slabs over from one side all the way to the other, as well as on the opposite stair here, leaving 3 blocks in the middle, and it should be looking like this. Grab some spruce stairs and slabs and just stand up on the beams here, and you want to place down 3 upside down next to the logs, and then same over here on this side, and then 3 going across like so. You should get the corners curving round to the side just like that, and then you can also do the same over here with 3 spruce slabs in the middle. And then if we just take a look from below, it should look just like that. And what we can then do is come around to the side here just above the dark oak slabs and have a line of spruce slabs going across, and then a line of upside down spruce stairs, and then just copy that round onto the final side over here, and you should have something that looks like this from below. Now we're going to add in the bridge walkway, so we need to grab some spruce slabs and a couple of temporary blocks. And the first slab is going to go right here on the bottom next to one of these pillars, and then we're going to go up half a block and place it on the fence, and then you need to place a temporary block and go up by another half block and then place it on the top of the fence again, and then 1 more here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each going up by half a block. We'll go up half a block again, but this time have 2. Another temporary block, then have 2 more, and then lastly we'll have 1 on the fence and 1 here to connect up to the upside down stair. And basically all you need to do is bring that over to the other side and then copy it around for this side too. So there we go, the bridge is now all done. We have to start work on the house itself now, and the first thing we're going to do is just come to one of the sides here in between these 2 pillars, and at the very top block of them have an upside down dark oak stair just like that. And then on the back of those we're going to have a regular stair, and then in front of the stair itself on the top portion of it have a slab just like so. Then we're going to have a temporary block on top of that with an upside down stair facing inwards on both of those. The temporary block can be replaced by another slab, just like so, with another slab in the center, to give yourself this shape right here, which then of course can be copied round to this side as well. Once you've got all that done, we're then going to continue on with the shape of the roof. Now we're going to be doing this side first of all, which I'm classing as the front. It's the one with the extended building, not the crane. I'm considering the crane to be round the back, just so you've got a reference of what we're building here. So we're going to start off next to this stair, having an upside down dark oak stair with a block on top of it, another stair on top of that, and then basically repeat the same process like so. But then when we get to this stair, we want to have a line of horizontal strip dark oak logs going across by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blocks. And then what we want to do is have a dark oak stair on this block upside down, just like that. It looks a little bit weird at the moment, but do bear with me. We're going to have another block on top of that one with another stair once again, and then an upside down stair, a regular stair, and then simply copy this onto that side as well super quickly. So you eventually are left with this single block gap in the middle where we can have an upside down stair, and then on top of it a regular stair, upside down, and then a regular right here. The roof outline round the back is virtually the same as the front, except from 7 different block changes. The first 2 are here and here. These 2 stairs need to in fact be facing forwards, and then underneath those we're going to have a dark oak slab, another one in the center, and then here we can have 2 upside down dark oak stairs. So the back is looking like this. The final thing to do before completing the roof outline is come up to this top stair here and bring it in by 4 blocks, and then do the same for over here as well, and then you should have a 1 block gap in the middle where we can have a dark oak plank. So that's the roof outline all done. Now we're going to start on the roof itself, and the first thing we're going to build is the chimney using all of these blocks here, and that's going to be going on the left hand side of the build. So we're going to grab our full brick blocks and place the first one next to this slab here with another one on top, and then facing outwards we're going to place a brick stair with an upside down one out the back, another full block on top, then facing forwards we're going to place another stair with an upside down one, another full block with a campfire on top, and then very simply just surround that with trapdoors, making sure you're actually clicking on the campfire, not below like I just did a second ago there. And that right there is your chimney done. Now we can carry on filling in the roof. And to do that, we're going to need all of these spruce blocks. And we're going to start at the bottom here next to the chimney and have a full block. And then we're going to have 2 over here. Just leave these other 3 blocks open for now. Above them, we're going to have a line of stairs going all the way across. And basically all we're doing is when we have a dark oak plank, we're going to have a spruce plank stretching from one side to the other. And same goes with the stairs, as you can see I'm doing here. This top row here is when it gets a little bit different. What we're going to have is 2 planks here, and then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this side. Then we need to grab 2 temporary blocks and place them on those spots right there, and have 2 stripped spruce logs stacked on top of each other like so. We're then going to have a stair in the center and 2 spruce trapdoors on those spots. And then we can have a spruce stair on both of these facing outwards with 1 in the center. So we should be looking like this at the moment. We then need a spruce plank on the back of that upside down stair. And pretty much we just need to build the rest of the roof. So we're going to have 2 spruce stairs here going across from one side to the other. And then those 4 as well. And then for this very top row, we're going to have 5 spruce stairs here, and the 5th one should curve round and connect up to that one over there. And same deal goes for this side too. We're just having 3 over here and curving it round to connect. And of course, the final thing is in our window here, we need a glass pane. Over here on the right hand side of the build, we're going to start off with 2 blocks on top of both of those pillars just like that, and then we're going to have a stair on the outside, then a full block, then another stair, and then in the center here we can have another full block. And then on this block we're going to have just a single plank next to both of those, and then we can grab a couple of temporary blocks and place them down like so, and on top of them have 3 stripped spruce logs. Go ahead and get rid of the temporary blocks and switch over to the spruce stairs. We're going to have 1 on the right hand side and the left hand side of those 2 pillars, and then 3 more in the middle here. So we should have this at the moment. We're then going to move up to on top of the pillars here and have a stair facing outwards on both of those with an upside down one on the back of it. And then we're going to have a spruce trapdoor on top of both of those stairs with 1 in the center. Just make sure this middle trapdoor divots down by a couple of pixels there, so that we're able to have a spruce slab on top. And then basically what we need to do with these 7 blocks here is just bring them over by another block. so that you have something that looks like this and is also the same from the bottom. And then what we can do is change over to our spruce planks, have 2 here on either side with 2 stairs on top of it, and they should connect to the ones we've already placed down. And then finally just have a line of stairs going all the way across on this top row to the other side. Next up, we're going to grab our campfires here and just have a line of 5 going all the way across and then another 5 in front of them. And then you can grab your shovel and extinguish all of those like so. And then under these 2 spots, we're actually going to have ourselves a spruce fence, so in front of the 2 stairs. And on the other 3 blocks, we're going to have 3 spruce trapdoors. And then basically, we just want to place a spruce sign on the edge of all of these campfires, going all the way around like so. Eventually, you'll end up with this nice little balcony that you can stand on and have a view of your surroundings. Now, the final thing you need to do to complete the roof is just come up here to this very top stair, have a dark oak fence with a chain and lantern underneath it, and then do the same around the back. And once you got that done, the roof, for the most part, is all done. I say for the most part because there's actually going to be another smaller roof around the front of the build here, but the larger roof is actually now all done. So we're going to start off here on this pillar going across from one side to the other by placing a full spruce plank in the center. There should be 3 each on either side. And then we're going to have an upside down spruce stair in front of it, 2 slabs either side, and then the ones next to the logs here, we're going to have an upside down stair on both of those sides right there. And then the last 2 upside down stairs need to be placed facing forwards so that you can see they curve round to the side and don't look like this. You can see the difference in the 2 right here. So just make sure you're facing the house itself. We can then switch over to our stripped dark oak logs, and from this top log here, we're going to bring across 7 from one side to the other, placing them horizontally, and then we're going to leave a 1 space gap on the edge here and bring up 4 more logs on both sides, and then we're going to have 4 more here on the outer upside down spruce stair. And then finally, just a line of 3 going across like so. For this next part, we need to grab our stone blocks. Now, I'm just going to be using the stone bricks for now and adding in the texture with the andesite and cobble later on. But if you want to build them in as you go, make sure you grab all 3 types. But the first thing we're going to do is on either the left or the right hand side. It doesn't matter because they're going to be the same. We want to have a stair on the bottom of the block here, 2 spruce fences above it, and then a full block on top of the fences. We can then, of course, copy this over to here as well. So 2 stairs, 4 fences, and then 2 full blocks. As for this 3x3 section at the front here, we basically want to make a ring of walls going all the way around, leaving this open spot in the middle where we can have some iron bars. And as you can see, that connects it all very nicely. Now we can start building the roof for this thing here, and we're going to start out with 3 dark oak stairs coming outwards from that top stone block on both of the 2 sides. We're then going to have an upside down stair on both of the top pillars with a dark oak fence gate opened up below it like so. We're then going to have a dark oak trapdoor next to both of these stairs here with a slab in the center. We can then also have a slab on top of both of the trapdoors and then 1 more trapdoor in the center. So we should be looking like this at the moment. We're then going to switch over to our dark oak planks and have 2 on top of both of the stairs with 2 stairs facing outwards, then 2 upside down in the middle. 2 more full blocks, 2 more stairs, and eventually an upside down one here in the center. And very finally, we just need to hop up to this little log here, have a stair, then a slab, and then an upside down stair hanging over the front. So that's the outline of our smaller roof. And then pretty simply, we just need to have 2 spruce planks, 2 spruce stairs, 2 more planks, and then 2 more stairs to connect it up on one side, and then just repeat it over here as well. To finish off this front face of the house, we need to actually step inside because it's going to make the process a little bit easier. Place yourself on top of this log here and place in 2 white terracotta on either side with 3 dark oak logs in front. If we just check it out from the outside, you can see it should look like this. Now we're going to do a similar thing for these open spots here, starting off with 2 white terracotta on either side, then 3 dark oak logs just next to it, and then a single white terracotta terracotta on those two spaces, which from the front looks like this. And now very lastly, what we need to do is just hop up here on top of the roof and have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 spruce planks with a glass pane in the center here. And then the last detail is what we need to do is just on this block right here, place in a dark oak fence. So you can see once it's opened up, it's like that in the corner, and then very simply just do it on the other side as well. As for around the back of the build here, we're going to start off with our stripped dark oak log line going all the way across from one pillar to the next, just like we did at the front there. And then below it, we're going to have a line in the center going all the way down to this pillar here. And then basically, we're just going to make a 3 at the bottom, 4 at the side window here, where in the middle we can have our iron bars. This is, of course, made out of the stone brick walls, which we will again be adding in the texture to later on. So we should have this for the bottom section. And then up here, we're going to have 3 white terracotta in the middle, 2 on the outside, and then 3 more at the top, which we may actually just need to hop inside for to make this little window. And then we're going to hop back outside again, try not to fall into the river, have 2 white terracotta here on either side, and then 1, 2 and 3 stripped dark oak logs. Just in front of these 3 white terracotta here, we're going to have 3 grass blocks, which you can go ahead and place some flowers on. This is going to become a flower bed, so we need to surround the side with spruce trap doors and close them all down like so. We can also go ahead and place down our glass pane in that open spot. But just below our grass blocks here, we're going to have a spruce slab in the middle and 2 spruce stairs either side of it, just to complete the flower bed there. Again, add in your flowers if you have them on hand. But then we're going to grab some more spruce trap doors, and just next to this corner wall here, on the pillar block, we're going to add in a spruce trap door, so it should be just on the bottom as you can see there. You should be able to add in a spruce fence directly below it, with a chain below that one, and then a lantern below the chain. And then you can just do the same over here, so trapdoor, fence, chain and lantern. There we go, pretty flowers have been added. Now time to build the chair that you're going to be able to sit in, and I'd recommend just stepping inside a little bit here to build this. So we're going to have a rail on this middle block here with our minecart on top, and then just go ahead and break the rail below. Now your minecart may fall a little bit differently. I think it depends on which direction you're facing. I'm honestly not entirely sure, but just above it here in this spot, we're going to have our piston, and then just go ahead and stick a button on it. And then we need to add in our spruce slab half a block below the piston. So make sure it's not here, you want it half a block below. So you need to just add a temporary block in like that. And then just simply push the block into the minecart, get rid of the piston along with the button. And as you can see, you should have something like this. And then what you can do is add in a spruce trapdoor on the back and flip it upwards. And then just sneakily on this little pixel here, the bottom of the slab, place in 2 signs, one on this side and one on the other to complete your chair. Now it's not perfect by any means. I'm sure there's better things you could do with an interactive chair that you can sit in, but as you can see, you can in fact sit on it, which is pretty cool because in front of here we're going to be building a crane. So just in front and to the side of the chair here, we're going to place down 2 temporary blocks with an upside down oak stair in front of both of those, and then just slot yourself into this spot here. It may even be advantageous to sit in the chair itself. Break the 2 temporary blocks and then place an upside down stair again with 2 regular ones on top of it. Not a third one in the middle, however, though. And then just work your way out to the front again. Do be careful not to knock the minecart. I'm not sure how stable it actually is, although it looks pretty secure in there, I would say. But anyway, 2 more oak stairs here and here to make these nice little wheels on both of the sides. And then we need an oak slab in the middle here, and then 2 more coming outwards. Underneath that, we need a brick wall with a spruce fence below, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains hanging down from that fence. And then finally, we just need to make a 3x3 spruce trap door platform. Now, you do have to be careful with how you place these because as you can see, they're not all facing the same direction. So I'd recommend just doing what I did there, then replacing these 2 spruce trap doors so that they're connected to the rest and look like a nice little platform to put some crates and whatnot on, which is what we're going to do now. Now my crates are going to be made out of barrels of course, as well as composters, and I've put these in here just to make our barrel stack a little bit more interesting. Now it can actually be quite difficult to make a good looking barrel stack. I know that may sound a little bit strange, but it took me a while to come up with something that looked reasonably good here. That could just be me being funny with building, but if you do want to follow what I'm going to do, then just look closely here for the next 30 seconds or so. So we're going to have a composter in this back left corner, then another one in the front here, and then a barrel can go on that spot with a composter, the third and final one on top of the barrel. We're then going to have another barrel here facing outwards, and then another one here facing outwards like so. And the rest really on these three spots are just going to be facing upwards, with a final two here and here. Hopefully that was easy enough to follow along with, and as you can see, there is our wonderful looking stack of barrels and composters. Again, you can probably just stack them randomly and it'll look just as good. But anyway, the final thing you need to do is grab oak trapdoors and just line all of them like so, and then flick them upwards to complete the crane lift. So that is the back and the front of the house all done. The final thing to do is to build the two sides, allowing you safe passage from one side of the bridge to the other. Now thankfully these are virtually the same, so I just need to show you how to do one of them and you can copy it on over. So we're going to start off with our spruce fence gate in line with these two pillars in the center and place that down like so, and then have some stripped dark oak logs stacked up to the ceiling on either side. At the top, we're going to have our stone bricks with our chiseled stone bricks below, and then a horizontal dark oak log like that. We then need to switch over to our stone bricks again and have two like that on either side, with an upside down stair at the bottom with a grass block on top. And then we just want to cover that up with spruce trapdoors to make another flower bed, which of course you will have to put a flower inside of both of those. We can then have two iron bars here and here. Above them, we're going to have some stone brick stairs upside down, and then finally two full stone blocks like that. And the very final thing you can do, if you want to, this may not be for every Minecraft player as these are quite hard to come by, but you can put a bell on this spot right here. It doesn't really add any functionality to the build, but I just quite like the idea of being able to ring the bell as you go through the house itself to the other side. So that's everybody, is the exterior all done, with the exception of changing over some of the stone bricks here to andesite and cobblestone, but there is a little bit more stone on the inside, so we'll do that first of all and then add in the texture. The first thing we need to do inside of here is from these 2 points add in some horizontal dark oak logs going across from one side to the other, and then in the middle of those we need to have an upside down spruce stair on both sides just like that, and then either side of the stair have 3 more logs on both of these just like so, leaving you with this one wide gap in the middle and these open spots on the other. Now currently this is not very private for the house owner, aka you. People crossing over the bridge can just waltz right into the house, which maybe isn't something you want. So to add a little bit more privacy, we're just going to fill in all of these spaces with our stone brick walls. Now something you can do once you got this done is actually add in a couple of doorways here and then also here, but I'm gonna say don't do this unless you really want to. Since this is a survival base and we're gonna have a storage room in here, it's kind of really annoying going up and down the ladder that will eventually be in this spot through the doors and to the storage room, as they kind of just get in the way a little bit. Sometimes you just catch yourself on the edge of the door, and I honestly don't think they're really worth it, but the option is there if you want to take it. As you can see, I've added in the cobble and the andesite to make the stone part of this build look a little bit textured. So just do something similar to what I have here and you should be all good to continue. I've also done the walls on the inside here, as you can see. But we need to grab our spruce slabs and simply line this middle section here on the top part of the block so we can still see half of the log. And then we're going to walk into the larger section here to begin with and add in another line of spruce slabs going all the way across. And then we're going to have 3 stripped dark oak logs and then 3 more slabs to make this into a nicer looking ceiling. As for the smaller room over here, we just want to do the same thing again by having 3 slabs on either side, but leaving this middle part open to make a ladder going up to the second floor that you can climb up like so. Now this is actually going to reach all the way to the top floor. Yes, there are 3 floors in this building, and what we're going to do here is something that I'm not sure will work on other versions, but it does on Java. So basically when you have a trapdoor in between 2 ladders, you can actually climb it pretty easily. So we've got the window there which causes an obstruction, and I think that's a nice way around it. Now if you can't do this on another version, maybe Bedrock or something else for example, what I'd recommend doing is just adding in some ladders here on either side and going around the window. Not quite as pretty as what it was before, but it does work functionality wise. This middle floor is a little rough looking at the moment, so let's change that, shall we? We're going to start off by having some horizontal log beams going across from one pillar to the next, just like I'm doing here, as you can see. And then just in front of these 2 white terracotta blocks, we're going to place in 3 upside down spruce stairs, and then just fill the rest in with the exception of our ladder block, or 2 ladder blocks if you've done it the other way, with spruce slabs to complete the ceiling. And then what we need to do is actually remove these 2 blocks here and replace them with some upside down spruce stairs, and then have 2 more in front, just like so. Then we want to switch over to our spruce trapdoors and place one on this spruce block here and the next one in front of it on the spruce stair. So there should be a slight level change with those 2. And then we want to just finally place in 3 spruce slabs like so. On the top floor here, we're going to start off by having 3 spruce stairs just in front of the ladder and behind our chair. And then we're going to turn around 180 degrees and place in a final white terracotta on the floor there. We're also going to place in a spruce plank here, here, and then here in the corner, as well as on this spot right here. And then we want to switch over to some barrels and place 2 on there, and then just line them all the way along this side until we get to our spruce plank, and then 1 more over here. And then what we need to do is switch out to our spruce stairs and basically just add them all the way along the edge of the build here. So as you can see, it curves round to the ones we placed down earlier. You can also add in another spruce trapdoor there if you would like. And then finally, just another line of spruce stairs going across there until you reach this point, where you then want to just curve them round to the side ever so slightly. And then the very final thing to do is just line the top of the ceiling here to replace the dark oak wood with some spruce slabs, except this final one here above the window we're actually going to make into a full block and add in a lantern just below it. So there are the 3 floors looking a little bit cleaner, and I would maybe recommend just temporarily having a torch on the second one because it is quite dark in here and you don't want any mob spawning. But we're now going to start furnishing the house itself, and we're starting on the top floor here because it is dead simple what we have to do. We've already got some extra storage if need be, and this is actually going to be our bedroom. So we need the bed in the center, 2 dark oak logs beside it, stripped of course, and then a dark oak slab on top of them, and a dark oak button here. That is the bedroom all done. Now time to head down to the bottom floor before we come back to the middle one. So down here, as I said, is going to be the storage room, and we're going to start off by placing in a lantern in this center spot here. Now, if you have placed down all the lighting as I've done so far in this tutorial and the ones to come, you won't actually have to worry about mob spawning. It's all going to be above light level 7, so no need to worry about having a creeper in your house. But the first thing we're going to do here is place down a crafting table in this spot right here. So get rid of that log and replace it with a crafting bench. We're then going to have a stone cutter just beside it here, and then 2 double chests either side like so, with an item frame on the front just so you can label what's going to go inside of it. Now we are going to have some more here, but they're a little bit tricky to place, so what I'm going to recommend you do is just break the walls here, and then you can easily access them and place a stack of 3 double chests like so, and then just go around and place the item frames on them. And you can also place in 3 more double chests on these 2 spots right here. We have some extra space and you may as well use it for extra storage. You can never really have too much to hide all of your items, and then obviously go ahead and place in the walls afterwards. But first of all, you should probably place down some more item frames, and then you can replace the walls that you broke before. Now time to work on the middle floor here, and we're going to start off by having a campfire in the corner here, just in front of these brick blocks. Now don't worry, this campfire is not going to spread a flame to the wood in this build and burn it all to the ground. Campfires don't do that. If you were to use a flint and steel, it definitely would if you played with fire tick on. So if you play with fire tick off, go ahead and do it, but maybe just use a campfire because you won't have to worry about it either way. They do not spread fire. So just in front of it, we're going to have 2 brick walls with a flower pot on top of that wall. And then behind it, we're going to have 3 full brick blocks with an upside down brick stair in the middle. Now this is a campfire or fireplace design, I should say. I'm not sure what the flower pot is, maybe it's something to extinguish the fire if need be, but it just makes the design a little bit more interesting. Now, just to the right of our fireplace, we're going to have some furnaces. Now, I'm going to add in 6 regular furnaces, 1 smoker, and 2 blast furnaces. But obviously, you can change this up depending on how many of these furnace types you actually use. Just opposite our fireplace and the furnaces here, we're going to have our enchanting setup. So we're going to start off by lining the back wall here entirely with bookshelves. And in front of these 2, we're just going to have 2 more bookshelves. And yes, you do actually need these in the corner to get 30 levels. But put a lantern on top of that one there, and then we're going to have 3 more bookshelves here. Obviously, enchanting table can go in the middle, and there is enough to get 30 levels here, as you can see. But finally, we're just going to place our grindstone on top of that bookshelf, and then our anvil can go on that spot there. The very final thing to do is to fill in this little gap with some other helpful survival items. So we're going to have a cartography table here, loom in the middle, smithing table on the side, and then ender chest up the top. Again, you should have room if you place your trapdoor correctly. If not, just move it up a little bit and you should be able to place it down. Now, the only other thing that you may want to add into this build is a brewing stand, but I find a lot of people don't really use potions that often. But if that is you, just put the brewing stand there maybe. I think that looks absolutely fine, but if you don't want it, then don't add it in. So there we go everybody, that is the bridge house tutorial all done. It's been a bit of a long one, I know, but that just always is the case on a detailed build like this because I like to show every block being placed down. So to those of you who just watch my tutorials to support me, if you've made it all the way to the end of the video here, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing that, and thank you everybody for watching. I really hope it helped you out if you are choosing to build this in your world, and I hope you enjoy living in it and crossing from one side of the river to the next. Thank you again, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.